This technique is about using quick mask mode to do the selection. Before I change the mode of the document to quick mask, something I want to show you that the mode of your document is normally we can change using the image mode menu. Okay, right now your image is in RGB mode, so you can see the tab navigation of this document, and in the tab navigation this RGB tells you that the mode of the image, the color mode of the image is in RGB, red, green, blue. Okay, now once we change our documents mode into the quick mask mode, you will see the only change happen in this document will be here. Okay, rest of the contents on the stage will not move at all, they will stay as it is. The only visible difference can tell you whether it's in quick mask or it's in normal mode is by looking at the tab of your document. Okay, so with that explanation, let me go back to these documents, and what we do is we actually change it from red, green, blue, which is a normal mode of your graphic. In this normal mode we can use these other selection techniques which we have seen in the morning: selection tools, lasso, marquee, quick selections, and magic wand. But in the quick mask you have to change this RGB by clicking on this little icon which is at the bottom of your toolbar. Okay, it's in the bottom of your toolbar. You just click on it. Right now if you don't click on it, when it is not active, you will see it just looks normal. Okay, when you click on it, you can see it looks highlighted, okay, which is an enabled mode. This is the only difference you can see whether the quick mask is on or off. And the second difference is, if you can check, that's your quick mask mode in your toolbar, and at the tab of your document you will see Photoshop tells you that as well, that the mode of the image or the graphic is right now quick mask. In this technique, Photoshop use the brush tool, and we simply apply the paints all over the shape which we want to select. So for example, in this example, let's say we can select the head of the flamingo which we want to select, and we can extract it like a selection, and we can twist it, or you can transform it and place it on the back of the other flamingo, so it will look like there are 3 flamingos. Okay, you can definitely use any other selection tool equally, but I'll take this tool for example. So to select the head of the flamingo, we can apply the brush paint up to here, all the way down there, and we will join back. So we, using brush tool, we will simply apply the strokes of the brush so that our paint will cover all of this area of the flamingo. Okay, and then once we finish that, we will disable the quick mask mode, and all this Photoshop will change it into the moving ends or the marching ends. So that's the overall trick. We're gonna quickly, I will not do the precise paint, but just to demonstrate you, I will use the brush tool. You can use any shape and any hardness sizes you need. Let me just zoom on to the head, and using brush tool you simply start painting. Do you see it looks like a bit red color? Oh sorry, yeah, so I'm changing the size of brush. Okay, I'm just applying these brush strokes on top of the head, which will go across. Like that. Obviously I haven't done precisely, but for demonstration first, this is just a paint which is applied on the head of the flamingo. If I switch off the quick mask and go to the RGB mode, you just press on this tool one more time, and you will see the paint will be converted into the RGB. Okay, but you can see it is not precisely selecting the head, because when I was painting you might have seen the red color was going across all over the shape. Now that's what addition and subtraction of your selection means. But to do add and subtract from selection, you can simply go back to quick mask, which is I'm going back again, and the color will stay there because of the selections, and you can simply use the white color as a foreground, or you can use the eraser, which is the eraser tool, and simply change the shape of the eraser, size of the eraser, and just erase the extra color. Now this is actually subtract from selection in a quick mask. Now I've erased quite a bit extra, so I'm gonna go back to the brush, paint it wherever I want. Now this painting means add to selection. Okay, so whenever you use brush to apply the paint, is add to selection for existing color, and by eraser we erase the extra bit of color. So with this, I'm gonna quickly give a bit of erasing here. Okay, I expect you to do nice and clean. Right. Bit more. Okay. Right. Okay. Disable the mode. Now the only difference you see here is when you go back from quick mask to RGB, the active selection is actually in inverse mode. Okay. So I've painted across the head. So, and when I go back to the quick mask to RGB, marching ants are not just on the head, but across the border. Means actually right now the selection is everything else but the head of the flamingo. But we know how to do inverse, right? We simply go to select menu, inverse, and we got a precise selection of the head. So as an artist, this techniques is just a wonder. Those who like to use brush a lot, this will help you for selecting the body parts. Now once I select, I'm gonna finish the whole activity, copy, paste. So I've got the extra head of the flamingo. Right, with this head, few things I'm gonna do to tweak it. I will go to the edit menu, and under the transform, there are a lot of options under the transform to scale, rotate, skew, or literally flip horizontal and vertical. So if I just flip it horizontally, as your head, use move tool. With the move tool, I'm gonna keep this place here. Let's use flip transform. Place it here. Apply transform. Use eraser tool to get rid of the excess part of the head. The only problem here you will see is you don't see the legs of that flamingo because there are only two, right? So we can chop everyone's leg. Let's use crop. Chop everyone's leg so we don't see that. Go. Okay. One last thing I'm gonna do, which we haven't seen so far, is using filters. This is what Photoshop is popular for. It has a lot of inbuilt filters to do blurring, apply effects, render different kind of styles. Now, just to give this head of the flamingo a bit of feeling as if it is a bit far, we can give a slight blur. Okay, because object is, if it's too far, we see slightly blurry. So to make our effect realistic, for this particular head, which is the layer number 2, you go to the filter menu, and you can see there are hundreds of filters Photoshop gives you. That's why this software became so popular in early 2000, because of the facility of having filters in it. Now under the blur, you can see how many different blur filters it has. I'm gonna use the Gaussian blur, which is quite nice. It literally tells you, where's my head gone? There you go. You can zoom out. Okay, now using the radius, you can blur as much as you want, and you will literally not see it. But you control your values, trust your eyes, and see what's the feasible value you want. So that it looks slightly blurry, that's fine. Then I say okay. Now it looks a bit distant. This is only possible in Photoshop. No other software has filters like this. And that's all. Save it as a PSD and later as a JPEG. I'm going to stop my demonstration.